right, the title of this is We Keep Telling You. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachah, double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessing to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect, Shalom Barakathum. And this is a clip of a video of a podcast or show. They're closely related to the Jimmy Dore show, but they're called Due Dissidents. I've been having a lot of their videos pop up on my feed, but they brought up something very, very interesting about a company called Palantir, which you may have heard of, but they are a big contributor to the Donald Trump campaign. They're run by a guy called Peter Thiel, who's an oligarch who is into all kind of nefarious things and can pull in strings and wickedness. But we'll play. You'll see what I mean by we've been telling you. Okay, this is related to Revelation the 13th chapter, and it's coming swiftly. Let's play some, and then we'll get some precepts and see where we go in the spirit.
Trump didn't drain the swamp. He outsourced it to Palantir. And now he's handing over your entire digital soul, your data, your metadata, your biometric signature to a surveillance empire with deep ties to Israel, defense contractors, and the beast system itself. This isn't 5D chess, it's full spectrum submission. The same man who sold you...
See, they're using terms like the beast system itself. You see, now they're starting to... Now you got secular Edomites, everybody, they're using biblical language now. You'll see, this is only a, this is like a 30-minute video. I'm only going to play like, 5 minutes or so of it, for the sake of time. But, this is a 30-minute video, and you can see that everything is pointing one direction, man. Okay. Things that we told you. Okay. And so, like you said, Trump didn't drain the swamp. Okay. But this is Isaiah 30. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. See, this is the counsel you taken of Egypt, okay? It says that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt, okay? That's a big no-no, man, okay? The Lord made a big spectacle of destroying the Egyptians the first time for a reason. That was not just to destroy the Egyptians. That was to make a statement, okay? That was a memorial. That's a high holy day that we celebrate, okay? It's more than just destroying our enemy. The Lord wanted to communicate something, okay? That only the elect would understand over the course of a period of time as we get to the end of this thing, okay? It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, okay? You're going to be shamed for supporting a guy that's going to take away your freedom, that's going to spy on you, which they're already doing it anyway, but now they're telling you that they're doing it. So this is not like your wife, finding out that she's having an affair. This is her telling you, I'm about to go out to a bar and I'm gonna have sex with the first dude I see. That's what this is, okay? She's telling you, all right? But you Americans, you're so whipped, you can't do nothing about it, man. There's a video the guy from Middle Nation did recently. He said there will not be a revolution in America, and here's why. And you know what? He's right. What it's gonna be a massive panic attack. They're not gonna organize and go against the government. They're just gonna wait till things get too late, and then there's gonna be a free for all. Okay, because the people they're destroyed, man. They have no idea what the devil is up to. All right, but let's keep going. It says, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion. So you're going to be confused. Well, I thought they were talking about personal freedoms. They said it's a big, beautiful bill. Well, why is inflation going up? Why this? Why that? Because you're trusting in him. It's meant to confound you. But let's keep going.
Freedom is now centralizing control. You didn't win. You got assimilated. Yes, but sure. Trust the plan. Trademark. Hope you enjoy your AI dossier you built. He signed it. Palantir owns it. Yes. Windy Web. Now, this is from quite a ways back. This is from January. But this rings a bell. And it should ring a bell to everybody. Palantir is not just a military contractor. It was a company created to privatize and house the Bush-era neocon-run surveillance program. Total Information Awareness Program, housed previously at DARPA and put under increased CIA control, though the CIA was also intimately involved with TIA.
You see, so they already had DARPA working on this way back during the Bush administration, and they couldn't do it legally on paper, but they're going to do it anyway. What do? They outsource it to the private sector. Okay, that way you don't know who to blame. Oh, this is just greedy corruption, and this. It's not the government doing it, but it is the government doing it. There's no difference between the public and private sector when you get up to a certain height and class in this society. You see, the lines don't. There's no borders. There's no lines. They just see themselves and you. It's a us versus them mentality. Okay, they don't give a damn about red and blue. Okay. They see us versus you. And now, even though our target is the Israelites, they have now calculated a large portion of their own people as collateral damage now, man. Because America's gonna be left here. There's all these so-called white people here. Y'all gonna be left to fight it out with all of the people that they've imported over here. Okay, they have no intentions of sticking this thing out, man. Okay.
TIA was shut down by Congress because it would have eradicated the constitutional right to privacy, but, very key here to understand, Palantir has accomplished that and gotten away with it because it is a private sector entity. Mm-hmm. Yes, Palantir's earliest fundraiser besides Peter Thiel, the CIA. Palantir's first client for its first several years as a company, the CIA. Where did Palantir engineers every 2 weeks for years for guidance to developing their products? CIA headquarters. Palantir's originally intended clients per CEO Alex Karp, the CIA. If there was a CIA front company, if there ever was, a CIA front company, it's Palantir, though Peter Thiel has since quipped that the CIA is a front for Palantir. Ian Smith, all right, this is a good one. I like this one. Donald Trump just handed Palantir the contract to build the federal AI database, which will be the single most dangerous consolidation of power in modern American history. Palantir isn't a front company, it's Palantir, though Peter Thiel has since quipped that the CIA is a front for Palantir. Ian Smith, all right, this is a good one. I like this one. Donald Trump just handed Palantir the contract to build the federal AI database, which will be the single most dangerous consolidation of power in modern American history. Palantir isn't a tech company. It's a surveillance machine born inside the CIA, funded through In-Q-Tel and run by Peter Thiel, a billionaire data oligarch who openly brags about crushing right-wing populist movements in Europe with his software. Now he's here building the backbone of American AI.
Right, and what they don't tell you is you don't really have, a choice in the matter. Okay, you don't really get to voice your opinion on the matter because they've already decided for you, man. Okay, this kingdom, it cannot stand. Okay, there's just no way. Okay, look, when I'm gonna get that. How Shai spoke on this, man. Okay. It says, Matthew 12:26, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then shall his kingdom stand? So that they're doing this to everybody, man. Okay. They're gonna, and you know what? They're gonna get away with it all the way up until the Lord grabs their ass by the collar and yank them back, man. Okay. That's what's going to have to happen. Nobody on the planet Earth can defeat this guy conventionally. Why? Because the Lord set him up to do this, okay? This is prophecy, okay? And so what you're going to find out is it's going to seem like an impossible win, and it is, conventionally speaking, okay? But the elect are already written to have the victory. And see, this is why we don't put our stock in firearms or stocking up a bunch of food, or trying to get ultra swole in the gym, or memorizing a bunch of herbs, and those things are good to do or to have. But if that's your plan A, then you're gonna have a plan. You're gonna need plan A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. Okay, and even plan Z is not gonna work out for you because this is prophecy. Okay, we got a plan A, and that's to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. That's it. We don't have a plan B. Okay, because we already know if plan A fails, where there's no amount of plans after that can get you out of the judgment of the Heavenly Father. Okay? You see?
This is the same Peter Thiel who groomed the character of J.D. Vance, shapes national AI policymaker as an unelected power broker, pretends to be anti-woke while embedding Palantir across every global intelligence agency. And Trump, the guy who ran on Drain the Swamp, just handed him the keys. You're watching a merger of big tech, big government, and artificial intelligence branded as patriotism. They're not creating tools, they're building infrastructure for digital authoritarianism.
Right, and so why are they announcing this now? Because they've been doing it. They've been doing it since the Patriot Act. They've already came out, Edward Snowden, what's the other guy name? Julian Assange. They've already snitched. They you know the government is just actively spying on everybody, unfettered spying. They have all of that data already, but now they're announcing a big merging of it. They're announcing it to the public. Why? Why is something that was so taboo and top secret a few years ago is now being publicized? Okay, they're telling you they're doing it. Why is that? Because they're getting ready to announce something. Okay, now we know this is alluding to Revelation 13, but they're getting everybody's mind. They know your mind is now so warped and bent and weak and distracted that you'll accept anything, especially after 2020. So when they tell you that they're consolidating everybody's data, they're going to make it, everybody's just going to believe it. The vast majority of people are going to believe it. Okay, you're going to have a sect of people that don't agree, but then they're going to have, they'll explain it. They're going to have systems set up to determine people who are good actors and who are bad actors. Okay, so you Christian, you Bible thumping Edomites that believe that the rapture is coming, and you don't want to take, they believe Revelation 13, and that's, they don't believe that, we're the Israelites and none of that, but they believe in Revelation 13, and they're going to try to take a stand, and guess what's going to happen to y'all, man? Y'all going to have a very harsh decision to make, you see? So, because he's got the power over everything, man, okay? Everything.
Palantir has already been used for pre-crime arrests and pandemic lockdown enforcement, and now it's being given access to national databases under the flag of security, not to mention, of course, genocide in Gaza, which this sounds like more of a Chud-adjacent account who's less inclined to mention that, but that is, of course, well documented.
Yeah, see, they're not held accountable for what they've been doing already. Like over there in Gaza, they know it's wrong, but nobody calls them out. Okay. Meanwhile, you say one wrong word on the internet, Amalek is on your head, man. He's ready to make you lose your job. He's trying to sue you, all kind of stuff, man. Demonize you. Okay. This is Psalm 73:4. It says, for there, or 3, I should say, verse 3, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compassed them about as a chain, and violence covered them as a garment. You see, so they're proud as hell, man. That's why they're doing such grandiose, sweeping legislation. Okay, they're just taking liberties over you because they really believe that they're gods over you, and technically they are. The Most High set them up over you. Okay, it's just you people are so disconnected, thinking that this is a democracy, or you can vote your way out of this, or you can have a revolution. You can go ahead. Okay, martial law will set in before more than 1,000 people makes it to Washington D.C. that's not sanctioned by these intelligence agencies. Okay, all of these marches, they don't let people congregate like that unless it's CIA approved. Okay, I'm telling you. All right, look back in the in the 60s, okay? You went from Esau being terrified of more than 3 niggas congregating on the corner to allowing, 1,000,000-man marches, okay? Why did he allow that? Because that was approved. Martin Luther King, that was approved, okay? Because it's all to control you, This is why the scriptures refer to this guy as a serpent, okay? Because he's not upfront with his attacks, okay? He's very subversive, okay? So they're not just gonna allow things that are gonna be a threat to them, okay? So They have very lofty goals for themselves, which is really demonic. But this is the last point I'll make. Verse 7, it says their eyes stand out with fatness. Okay, what does that mean? We want to conquer everything. We want to go to Mars. We want to do this. We want to do that. You know, that's part of that pride. Okay, and why are they this proud? So the Lord can bring them down, and it can be no other credit you can give to except Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, when you see how fast, how the Lord is going to show you how big and powerful Esau is, because most people don't even know that, how strong this nigga is, man. He's going to show you how powerful and how strong Esau truly is, and then he's going to swiftly bring him down. Okay, like boom, he's going to show you, oh, this nigga's really, and then boom, he's going to knock his ass out. And then that's going to be, no other credit can be given except to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for the deliverance, man. Okay, and that's how the Lord gets down. Okay, it says they have more than their heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. All right, they set their mouths against heaven, and their tongue walketh through the earth. So there's nobody else that this fits except this guy, man.
As well, this isn't the Patriot Act 2.0. This is Revelation 13 in real time.
You see?
That was the whole ball game. That's the whole ball game right there. Revelation 13.
Right. So you see how they're talking? This is the whole ball game. You see, they know, man. For you other camps not going in on this topic, y'all are just watching these news articles pass by, and y'all don't say nothing. Y'all don't do nothing. The Lord is watching you, man. Okay, He knows if you're sincere or not, or if you're doing a sincere labor in His name. Okay, and if you're not, He's gonna send them angels, like in the Revelation, Zephaniah 1 and 12. He's gonna search Jerusalem with candles. He's gonna find every one of you niggas, man. Okay, it's not enough to know that you're an Israelite. Okay, the Spirit's got to be in you to do the right thing over and over every day. It's just overflowing every day, man. Okay. Some days are higher than others, but that Spirit is in you to get up and want to do things and be locked into the Spirit, man. Okay.
He causes all to receive a mark. No man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. You think the mark will look like a chip? It'll look like this. That's a good point. Right.
But it will be a chip. Okay. I'm telling you that right now. It will be a physical chip. See, Palantir, they're a software company, right? They're a software company. Okay, but you got to realize the chip is not just going to be physical. It can't just be physical. That has no benefit to Esau just to have it physical. Okay, there's got to be software behind it manipulating it. Okay, he's got a data aggregation on everybody. That means he's merged all of it with the NSA knows, all what the CIA knows, all what Homeland Security knows, all of what the IRS knows, all of the bank accounts, the Treasury, well, all your bank accounts, all of it, he's gonna have it merged into one, and AI is gonna be super smart to crunch it together. They're gonna have digital dossiers on everybody. Okay, they're gonna know your buying habits, when you're more likely to do this, when you're more likely to do that, and it's all gonna be in one system. They're gonna be able to tie it to a code inside of people. Okay, now they're saying it's not gonna be the chip, but we're telling you it is. Okay, let's go to it. Okay, this is our feature presentation. Revelation 13 and 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, I went into this word charax yesterday, CHARAGMA, okay, which has a root word. Okay. It says a stamp on CHARAGMA. It says a stamp, an imprinted mark. Okay, it's imprinted. Okay, how is it going to be imprinted? Is it going to be a tattoo on your skin? No, it's going to be something that physically goes into you. Okay, now what further proves this, if you go to the root word charax, it says a pale or a stake, a palisade or a rampart. Okay, this is what John the Revelator saw. He didn't see a digital software everybody's got in their phone. He saw a physical mark going into people's right hands, okay, or in their forehead. Okay, it was a physical procedure. Okay, so it will be, that will be the case. This is just the software end of it. All modern technology has two sides of it, hardware and software, okay? They're just disclosing the software part of it, but the hardware, that's gonna be the easiest part. Because you know, technology, man, the entirety of the information doesn't have to live on the chip that'll be in your hand. It'll just be a number or a serial number associated with it that can just be scannable. Okay, and when that number is scanned, you can hit it to the cloud or to whatever server, and then that server will have all your information. Okay, so you don't need a hard drive in your hand storing all this information. They just need your ID or some kind of serial number that's you. Okay, that's all they need. Okay, but they're announcing the software behind all of it right now. Okay.
In other words, yeah, they don't need to put a chip in you if they have this. Yeah. And AI assigning you a risk score, a predictive model determining your access to banking, travel, and medicine.
Yeah, see, so all you evangelicals that say, I ain't gonna take it, we gonna see. Give it about 3 weeks. Okay? If we even have that long from when they announce this thing, okay? Then you'll see. Okay, your wife start nagging you about the groceries. Okay? You might have a newborn. You know, you just staring at them. You can't get no formula. Your wife can't breastfeed because the food's all jacked up. You know, you're gonna have a decision to make, man.
A tech priesthood deciding who's dangerous.
Ooh, and a tech priesthood. You see, this is the left-hand side of what he wants to accomplish, man. I will be like the Most High, like the scriptures say. That's this guy's MO.
Trump is funding it. Yes. That is pretty terrifying stuff. Palantir is the digital beast system. Teal is its...
He said it. It's the digital beast system. Okay? That's why he got so close and so cozy to Trump, because Donald Trump very well could be the emperor that ushers in this thing, man. Okay? Palantir, run by Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance, the vice president, was a protege of this guy, okay? He was groomed to be vice president in Trump's cabinet. Now, you think a guy that can just get a vice president in there like that ain't gonna have no sway, ain't gonna have no power, man, okay? Come on now. So this software is here. And we know for a fact that Obama already had, you know, billions of these smaller devices that can go in your right hand made way back when, okay? By the Department of Defense. Okay? Think about that. The Department of Defense made these things. Where you had this technology in DARPA for a while, which is the Defense Advanced Research Project Association or Administration. I keep forgetting what the A means. Okay? That's what this is. It's finally rolling out, okay? Because the physical mark that's going to be the hardest selling point. And so what Esau is going to need, okay, is some kind of event, some kind of pretext. But he's disclosing the software that's going to manage it all right now, you know.
Architect, and conservatives are sleepwalking into their own captivity, cheering as their anti-establishment hero turns the surveillance state into a machine learning monster. This isn't freedom. This is Babel in binary.
See? It's Babel in binary. Okay, so now everybody else sees it, you know? Everybody else sees it, man. How do y'all not see it, man? You know? Isaiah 42:9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare before they spring forth. I tell you of them, okay? So eventually, everybody's going to be asking questions. There's going to come a time, brothers, where we are going to be the de facto leaders, whether we like it or not, okay? Because nobody understands the Bible the way that the Hebrew Israelites understand them, especially the men of Great Millstone, okay? They're going to have a lot of questions about prophecy. They're going to have a lot of questions about what's going to happen next. Is this really real? Are you a real, you know, they're going to have sincere questions all of a sudden, but they're not going to be sincere in the spirit. They're going to be sincere out of want to preserve their own life, which is the worst thing you can possibly do. Okay. It sounds counterintuitive to want to save your life, but it's actually the worst thing you can do, because you'll rely on your flesh, and you can't save your life anyway. Only the Lord can do it. And the only way he's going to do that is if you forfeit this life, man. You have to be like, all right, you can have it. Wife, cars, money. I'm following the Lord, man. Okay? If you don't have that in you, rooted in you, okay, there's no other recourse that's going to deliver you out of this. And this is the dark news, the day of gloominess that Christians don't want to deal with. They'll never preach it in the pulpits. They won't go into deep breakdowns, and they want to make money off of you, because these pastors, they're going to save themselves, man. They're not only going to not have any answers, you're not even going to have access to them. They're going to take all of that tithe money and they're going to book it, okay? Because the end days are here. The prophecies are coming to pass, whether you like it or not, okay? And we told you.
Said that
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Yes, that is very dark stuff, very scary stuff. Now,
Yeah.
what?
It's gonna be real dark when they realize the Bible was on point to a T. To a T. Okay? Dark stuff, indeed. Because the scriptures say they're gonna wail when they see the Lord, man. They're gonna wail, they're gonna be faint. They're gonna, oh shit. You know? Some people are gonna realize what's happening beforehand, but it'll be too late. You know, there's probably people that believed in Noah, you know, before they died in the flood, when they saw the rain coming, but it was too late. He had already sealed the ark. Okay? So don't be those people, okay, if you're an Israelite. The rest of you heathen, there's no hope for you, man. Good.
Can we do about this? What can you in the audience do about this? Because you read something like this, knowing the pace at which these things get built, knowing how maniacal these people are, you say, well, what can we do in response? Well, folks,
the solution is already on the way, okay? And that's a righteous rulership under the 144,000 government, head by Yahushua, okay? With King David under him, and the 144,000 and the rest of the elect, okay? All in unison, okay? Executing the will of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, okay? Which is the name of the Father, Yahushua, the name of his Son. That's going to be the new hegemony, okay? And it's permanent, by the way, okay? We're the landlords of the universe, okay? You want to do something, you want to create something, you want to do this, you want to do that, you got to go through us. Why? Because look at the earth, okay? We're sick of you. But this guy's solution is look.
Pura Vida.
Right.
Stick with me here.
I was wondering where you were going with this.
Kind of a curveball, I know.
I didn't see that coming.
Costa Rica, baby. Pura Vida.
So he's just saying go to Costa Rica, because there really is no hope. You cannot beat this nigga straight up, you know, because he's everywhere. He's got satellites. I mean, this nigga is just off the chain. Okay, there's only one way out of this, and that's through Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And really, there's no way out of it for the rest of you heathen, or even you 2/3, because you just never gonna get it. Okay, so you know, that's the lesson, man. You know, we're at the end of this thing. Call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Hashim Rachakudah Shalom. Kwam Yasharallah.